All right. The THC live trading room is provided for informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as investment advice. You should not rely solely on the information in making any investment. This is an educational room. Use it as an educational room, not as a trade along with me room, because I don't suggest that. Okay? What is the advantage of the spreads to the binary as trading? Well, the binaries limit your profit potential to $100. The spread only limits it according to how much it could move. Okay? So if we go back to the spread, let me find that screen. If we go back to the spread, your profit potential limitation right here is from 1,200 to 1,160. So that's 40 points. It could actually move in your direction 40 points. Okay? Now, on the binary itself, you're limited to an even $100 payout. Does that make sense to you, viewer 68? Yeah, it's profit potential. If you're expecting a big movement, you would use the spread. Whereas if you just anticipate a smaller movement or just normal movement, you would use the binary. Spreads are not my favorite. And I'll do them, but again, they're not my favorite. Don't know why, they're just not. Okay. All right, now let's go and look at the market reports that we have this week. Today we have the CB Consumer Confidence. Let's see, tomorrow we have a big one, which is the federal FOMC statement and the federal funds rate. Tomorrow night we have the yen monetary policy statement, and then we have the Bank of Japan press conference. What else do we really have that's good? That's really about it. Unemployment really doesn't move that much. So that's about it. Okay. Now, how much does the market normally move on the Consumer Confidence Report? Well, the Dow usually moves 36 points, the ES 19 ticks. The NASDAQ 47 ticks, the DAX 63, gold moves 39 ticks, crude moves 34, the Aussie 16, the Euro 22, the British Pound 20. The US CAD and Swiss franc both move about 18 pips, and the USD JPY moves about 22. Okay. So now we've identified pretty much how much the market moves, okay, which is one of the best things to know when you're trading out of the money binaries. Now, on Sunday, before the market even opened, I told you I thought gold would go and test the 1193 area. It definitely did that one. On crude, I thought it would come back and it would test this low. And it came back here, then went up to the congestion dot, then came back and tested the low. Let's see, the Dow, I said would go up to 104, possibly 232. It actually went to 111, and then we started the downtrend. On the ES, that one's over here. Let's see, I told you you had a congestion dot at 2121. This is the line that marks the congestion dot. And I also said I thought we would possibly go down on the ES. Then on the NASDAQ, I told you to expect some downward movement. It should retrace to the ATR on the 720, which was right at 4,500. The low for yesterday was 4509.75, so I missed it by 9 points. Over on the DAX, I told you that initially we may go down, but there was a sweet spot on the Dow, and basically it was up to 12,000, 12,016. We hit both of those levels yesterday. Oh, I wish I was a psychic. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm just going with the lines here today. That's all I ever do. Where do you see how much resistance or support we have in this area? We've got support overhead. We've got, resistance overhead. We have support down below. Really paying attention to this green line at 17,914. These are areas that will support price. I am definitely mental. Just ask any of my kids. Over on the DAX, you see that we're in a triple zone area right now. We're in a double zone area on the ES. We don't have anything really on the NASDAQ. Let's go back 15 days and see if we get anything. We have nothing from here to here. Nothing. Amazing. Let's go back 20 days. It's got to be something there. We just got to find it, guys. Data series. Go back 20 days. All right. There's nothing from here to here. Typically, when you get that, you'll see the 45 develop areas. Right now, there's just nothing, though. You seem to place a lot of emphasis on the market report to trade. That's when you know that you've got volatility in the market. So, yeah. I do. You know, that's when I want to trade. How many of you have sat in front of a chart waiting for the market to move? And then you get bored and then you jump in a trade that you shouldn't be in because the market wasn't moving and you wanted it to move. Okay? But now we know when the potential for that movement is during market reports. But we couldn't trade that before because we couldn't limit the risk. Well, now we can limit the risk. All right, do you see how crude came down here and tested these two green levels here? Okay, and it went up, formed the congestion dot, came back and tested these double zone areas here. And what's happening now? And it should not surprise you that that's happening now. It's going to be moving up. It's going to reach 57.25. More than likely, it'll go through that and at least hit 57.54. May go up to 58. Right. It broke through the resistance and then came back and tested it to make sure that that area was going to support it. And so far, that's exactly what it's doing. Does everybody understand that? Right now, I would anticipate at least testing 45.27. Should test 17.982. Should test this area here, 2103. On the DAX, it should actually come back. It will either test this area or it will test this area. That doesn't look too promising though. I think it will come back to 2103, which is only 3 points, and then you would have to read the volume there. In the ES, just for anyone that's in this room, the ES is the shittiest market to trade. Okay? Can everyone hear me? Yeah, it's technical terms. It's the shittiest market to trade. Why? Because it moves the least. All right. Here. Today at 10 o'clock, what do we expect? 36 points on the Dow, 36 points on the Dow, 47 on the NASDAQ. Huh, the ES, 19. People that trade the ES are people that are trading big numbers of contracts, okay? They're not the retail trader, okay? I don't know of anybody in this room that's trading that number of contracts. All right. Even if you go on any of these reports, 14, okay? There's none of them that are going to trade that many. Okay, at any given hour, the most that you can expect, and this is on an extremely, extremely good day like October, is 11.5 points. Okay, that's a joke. When you look at other markets, 11 points is a joke. Okay, sorry, but it is. Let's go back to my CB. Trying to find my CB, consumer confidence. There it is. I don't trade the Russell, so I don't know. I don't have a specific number there, Artemin. The Russell moves, I just don't trade it. The highest movers are gold, crude, DAX, and Dow. Those are the highest movers. Okay? Why don't I trade the Russell? Why should I? On the ES, it'll get filled. I'm telling you, it's going to get filled. If you go back to the articles that I did on the ES, on the Dow, on the Russell, on the NASDAQ, they were published in Stocks and Commodities. I went through all that volume with you. The volume on the ES is huge, but there's not huge movement for that volume. Okay? I would imagine you could go into the ES with 500 contracts and be filled. I guess you could say that. Most of you would never trade the number of contracts that would push you up to the ES Artemis. I've only got maybe 2 clients that I know of that could potentially do it. And instead, they switch over and trade forex. I mean, why would I trade the ES for 10 points when I could trade forex for 150 pips? I mean, that just doesn't make good sense to me as a trader. 10 contracts, no. We're talking 500 contracts, Artemis. Yeah. No, it's not retail. It's the high frequency trading. The ES and the Euro, from what I see, have the most frequently high frequency trading than any other market that I see. And it's just based on logic, nothing else. Yeah, pretty much. All right, someone asked me if it's a buy on the Dow. No, because you would need to flip this ATR and it has to come back and test that ATR on diverging volume in order to buy that. This room, again, it is not for buy and sell signals. That's not what I do. I actually teach you how to trade here. So if you're looking for buy or sell signals, you're not going to get it in this room. Now, let's go let's look at the scanner on these. The first thing I want to look at, number one, is the ADX above 70 on any of my instruments. No, although the S&P 500 is at 63 and you're already getting a long divergence, okay? That tells me it might go up today. What time will it go up? I don't know, but it should go up sometime today. All right. Is the RSI greater than 50? No. Is it less than negative 50? No. I have no overbought. I have no oversold markets. The next thing to look at, do we have, any divergence in this column? No, we do not. Do we have any divergence in this column? Now, it would be significant if we had divergence with a high ADX value. For example, we have an ADX here at 63, and we have long divergence right here, okay? Potentially that could go up, all right? I would be looking for a divergence on these two. You've got 58 on one, 58 on the other one. It's gold. That's why I'm biased to the short side on gold. Does everybody see that? Now, other than that, this is up. This is a little bit confused. It's down right now, but most of your other time frames are up, and this one's down. Okay? These two, they're down. The bias is to the upside, and this one is down. Okay? Now, even knowing that, I also see that the ATR is above price on all of these time frames. Okay? But there's really no clue as to which direction today is going to take. So for right now, I'm leaving the Dow alone. I'm not trading that one. Okay? On the ES, we've got down, but we've got a magenta peak, probably because this is a dark red 30, and I know it was higher than that earlier. We could potentially get a magenta peak here that will push price up, but we're still down and biased to the upside here. So these two time frames right here, they are confused. They don't know what they want to do. So I know that I'm going to have to read the 45 in the 180 more than the 720 in the 180. The one thing to note, though, is on the, hold on a minute. Let me get it to change. Okay. The one thing that to note on the ES is this congestion right here. For some reason, it's not working. Okay. You do have congestion on the 1440. If I bring that over to here, oh, now it's working. See, there's your congestion. You also notice that you've got congestion here, congestion here, congestion here. Okay? Really, you need to notate that because it's very important. All right. If you don't know because you haven't checked the market reports, let me tell you, if you're seeing that much congestion on a higher time frame, you are going to get a major market report. I guarantee it. All right, here is your congestion dot. I mentioned it on Sunday, okay? So you've got a congestion dot here, and it is bouncing down from this congestion dot. Just in case you did not notice, look at the freaking divergence that was on that. Does everybody see that? That's a lot of divergence. Okay? That's huge divergence. Okay? So that's telling me, hey, we might come back and test this ATR. Okay? you've broken through this congestion dot, okay? You've also got a high 80x value. I can't talk this morning. Now, what moves the market? Support and resistance. So we broke through that congestion dot, okay? What should we do now? We should go back and test to make sure that it serves as resistance at the ATR, okay? That means that I'm expecting it to come back to this area. So we move down, then we're going to move up, and then, depending on the volume right here, we will move down again. Does everybody understand that? Yes, no, maybe? It broke through this congestion dot. It will come back and typically retest to make sure that this area has formed resistance. In other words, it moves down, retraces, and then moves back down. At this area right here, you want to read the volume, okay? Because you should see it diverging. If it's not diverging, you may want to rethink your trading because it could go up. Again, the market moves off of support and resistance, okay? I cannot say that enough times. And that's what the lines on my chart are telling me. Where is the support and resistance, okay? Yeah, supply and demand is actually seen in the volume. When they approach a level, do they back off of it? Do they throw everything they can at it? Yeah, it's a big difference there. Now remember, we're short on gold. All right. Oop. So we went back and we made a double top. Okay. Do you see the divergence on that? That usually is a precursor to the magenta peak coming in, which will require it to retrace back to here. Do y'all understand that? Three ticks off the high. Close enough for me. The volume bar just formed. I was reading the lines on gold. Give me a minute. I want to do. I want to see what's available on the NASDAQ. The divergence just happened at the end of this bar, which was at 9 o'clock. We actually put the gold trade on at 8.25. All right. Right now, the only one I see that I might want to trade would be the NASDAQ. Okay. I want it to get closer to either this blue line or this ATR. I would be going out on a daily. It gives it all day to work out. I would like to target the 4,500 area. I could also target the 4,504. I want this to go up a little bit first. That's what I'm waiting on. Let's see if I can put the volume on here without locking up, because I'm projecting a lot this morning. So far, volume's not coming in on the buyer side. I have no idea what Apple will do. I really don't pay a lot of attention to what the stocks do. Now we'll see how it plays out. I'm wanting this to go up a little bit, but I think the closest I can get is $75 on that one, which isn't bad. So on this one, I went in at the $4,500 area. This is a demo account because I don't give out trading advice. And I got that for 25. I'm going to set a profit target on this. Of 21. Yeah. I'm going to do 45 on that. I might change it, but I'm going to do 45 as it stands right now. Does it influence it? Sure. Do I pay attention to it? No. Because I think it's within the indices itself. You know, we get caught up in a lot of information, okay? All right. For example, the stocks that are in the Dow Jones, okay? You get caught up in that, but is it any better than what I told you was going to happen on the Dow on Sunday? Okay. The DAX, same thing. Okay. I told you I thought it would go up. It went up. I don't know what stocks are listed in the DAX. I don't really care. It's going to be priced into my chart. That's the way I see it. You get information overload sometimes. And that's the way that I see that. I'm not a stock analyst. Don't want to be either. What I find happens, viewer 68, is you start analyzing all the stocks and the indices, and then you get a bias as to whether it's going to go up or whether it's going to go down. It's not based on technical analysis. And either you can't pull the trigger or your opinion takes over and you trade your opinion. And I don't want to do that. So I stay out of it. You know, it's not a matter of being right or wrong. It's a matter of what works for you. The more numbers that I have to look at, the more charts I have to look at, the more I can't trade. But what about? But what about? But what about this? It is what it is. VIX, trick, trend. How many indicators do you want on your chart? Okay. Well, you know, either you keep it simple and you can trade, or just add a bunch of indicators and then they're all conflicting with one another. And either by the time you take a trade, you're too late to the game. You can't make a decision because you got so much shit on your chart. It's, but I've already got overbought and oversold indicators. I've got the ADX and I've got the RSI. Why do I need more? They're not any better than what I've got. You are making the best educated decision based on your chart, okay? Add anything you want, but you're going to find, it might take you about 5 years, but you're going to find they're not helping you, they're hindering you. Most indicators are lacking. Look, I used to have so many indicators on my chart I couldn't even see my price bar. It didn't help me worth a shit. That's my favorite word today. It's a technical term. Well, you add indicators to your chart because you don't want to be wrong. And I got news for you. You will be wrong. Some days you will be wrong. Nothing you're going to do about that. Put 100 indicators on your chart and you're still going to be wrong sometimes. Because price will do what price wants to do. Yeah, they do. Because what do? We add more indicators. We have a losing trade. We need a new indicator because we had a losing trade. It's part of the job, guys. Sorry. It is what it is. Yeah, I've done it before. I can trade just off of the volume indicator. People will see me do it. Because price action is actually programmed into the volume indicator. It's the only one in the market that's like that. Because price action is programmed into this. I can look at a price chart and tell you when it's hitting an ATR or congestion dot. Just from price behavior. Because I have done this for so freaking long. Yep, it does. Okay. I thought gold was going down on this bar. We had volume divergence on this bar. I'll use this one. I thought it was going down on this bar. We had volume divergence on the next bar from here to here. The magenta peak came in on this bar. So you tell me, did volume lead that indicator and did it lead price? Yes, it did. Because I knew on I anticipated it on this bar, confirmed it on this bar, and now it's coming back to the ATR. And why did I anticipate that? Okay, you got 180 chart. Okay, and what's happening on the 180 chart? Okay. Potential magenta peak on that one. Give me a minute. At an ATR here. Remember earlier I said, okay, it will break through the congestion dot and it will come back and test the ATR. It's exactly what it's doing right now, and it's doing it on the virgin volume. And if we go over to the 1440, you can see that it's come down to the congestion dot, has come back to test the ATR. The reason I said it could go up today is because it hasn't quite made it to the ATR yet. Do y'all see that? They have tried, but they have not made it. Now, do you understand? Is the market report similar to the ATR? What do you mean? I don't understand your question there. Are you talking about the averages there? No, it's simple mathematics. You go back and you look at all the all the market reports, the movement on that bar, and then you just average it. It just took a lot of work. I looked at the movement of each bar for that particular market report. I just feel like basic math gives us what we need. So, I don't have a mathematical degree. My daughter does, I don't. No, the ATR doesn't work the same way. You can't tell the ATR to go back and look at a particular bar on a particular date and average it out. The ATR actually does calculations differently. The ATR would not do that. Because that's not the formula in it, basically. The way give you a lesson on the average true range today. Average true range is basically the high minus the low. In some instances, it's the high minus the close of the previous bar. Okay, so if the high is 99.99 and the low is 98.70, okay, that would be the average true range for one bar, 129. The average true range, though, actually does an average of the last X amount of bars. So it would be the high minus the low of, say, 14 bars. It would average that. That's not what we do. Yeah, it's a range of the bar. It's the close that uses that the average true range can use that I don't use. That's the easiest way to put it. This one. Maybe this one. Can't do it there. Yeah, and Greece might not be able to make its payment, and the bad news goes on and on. Always has. I try not to look at news during trading, other than do I have a market report. That's the only thing I really care about. Because the market report can influence the day, and I know how bad or good it can influence the day. Other than that, I don't really care about anything else. The market is going to show you before the news ever announces it. If you don't believe me, go back and look at September 11th. The market knew it before they even reported it on the news. Yeah, the markets are going to move unless we have another 9/11 attack. And then if you were watching the news, you were too late. Look at the Swiss National Bank when they came out and unpegged the euro to the Swiss franc. I saw it in the charts before any news agency had it up. It was already too late. You had already either blown your account or you were saying, thank God I was not in that market. One of the two. Yeah, FXCM. Who was the other one? Alpari. They went bankrupt. FXCM didn't. Almost went bankrupt, but didn't quite make it there. Yeah, Oana. No, Oana, I think, survived, didn't they? So I thought. How did I see the Swiss happening ahead of time? I didn't. I wasn't in the market. I was in the euro yen at that time. And I noticed that we started having wide bars everywhere, so I exited my trade. It showed up in the charts. You had these huge bars. Then, about 3 minutes later, if you pulled it up, you found out about 9/11. If you go back and look at a chart, any chart on 9/11, okay, when the Twin Towers were hit, it showed up in the price bar before it ever was announced on the news. Ever. Same thing with the Swiss National Bank. There was a mass exodus of traders. It was closed afterwards. About the low on gold. All right, I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee while we're waiting on the market to move, and I'll be right back. So far, it's not doing much of anything. All right, I'm back. Well, I'm thinking about it starting next week for the annual members. We're going to have a 7:30 session Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. And it's sort of going to be like the market review for that day that y'all like so much. The only free sessions will be on Thursday at 8:30. Yeah, I knew you'd like that one, Christian. I will release, because I'll tape all of them. I'll videotape them. They are going to be short sessions, pretty much like what I do on Sundays, just a little bit more detailed than that. And then at the end of the day, I will release it to everyone. But the annual members get the preview before the market opens. Yep, the crystal ball reading for the day. And the annual membership is included in the diamond package. It's included for a 12-month period. Yes, it's Eastern Standard Time. You will need to check the annual members page because each one has its own special code. I've already got them up there on the annual page. So if you log into the site, go to annual members, you'll see it. And it just tells you the meeting code, I think is what I called it. Monday's going to be the first day that I do it, so we may have some user issues from my side because I got to figure out how to do that one. And also the next training session will be May 9th at 10 a.m. If you purchase the diamond package, you'll be included in that one. So you have 2 other training sessions to go through. And then on May 9th, we'll have it's a 3-hour session. I would say in order to get this profit target over on the NASDAQ, we're probably going to have to get down to about 44.95. That would be my guess. Anticipation kills you, don't it? Let's see what the market report's going to do. They're expecting it to come in at 102.6. Prior month was 101.3. Now, out of all of the markets, the DAX should move the most with an average of 63 ticks. There's pretty much 2 ticks to a point. So we're expecting like a 30-point move on the DAX. And I'll show you the chart in a minute. Well, you're seeing the marks over here. So the next 15, this is the price that I'm doing it at. It should move 30 points off of that, either to the upside or to the downside. This would be to the upside. And this would be to the downside. Let's see if it does it. Came in at 95.2. Came in lower than they anticipated, basically. We're at 49 on the binary. $2 away from the 45 area now. Now it's back to 49. The binaries really jump around on these market reports. It's jumping between. Oop, there it went. So we're out of this one. This is where I told you they were buying the low. Do you see how they're hitting that ATR now on the 1440? Which coincides with this congestion dot over here. We've just about hit the 30-point move on the DAX. See how predictable the market movement was as far as the number of points that it moves. In fact, I would just about bet they all moved what I thought they would move on the averages. We've had a 50-point move in the NASDAQ since Sunday. I wouldn't say they were actually waiting on the Fed announcement yet. I think on the ES, what do we anticipate for market movement? On the ES, we anticipated about 4 points. It moved that. We anticipated 36 on the Dow. It moved that definitely. Gold, we expected $3.90. Ironically, it moved that from 1203.2 up to 1214. Definitely did it. Crude, we expected a 54 cents move, and it did that as well. I wouldn't have traded the forex pairs on that one. There wasn't enough movement there. On gold, I think we'll retrace some because we're at the ATR and at the congestion dot. I'm leaving that one just like it is. On the DAX, we should come down to this yellow line, which is 11,821. We may come down to this area right here on the ES. I would expect maybe down to the green line on the Dow. We'll have to wait and see if it clears this area. I just don't like all these lines on the DAX. Ironically, on the NASDAQ, 4454 is the next level that we have. Any questions this morning? We start Monday at 7:30 for annual members only. And all you have to do, it's so simple. Let me pull it up first. Make sure you're signed in to the blog. It's New York time because actually we're in Eastern Daylight Savings Time right now. Saying New York time is easier for me. So make sure you're signed into the blog. If you're an annual member, click on annual members, and I've already listed the meeting IDs on there. I am going to record them, but they will not be viewable until the end of the day. Thursdays are 8:30 a.m. We will do 8:30 to 10 o'clock. I will be out of the room at 10 o'clock. The annual membership is included in the Diamond package. And I think yesterday and today, the Diamond package, you can save $500 if you order it. And then we have a May 9th webinar training session. And I show you how to do market reviews like I do. It makes it pretty simple to trade. Any other questions? All right. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'll be back tomorrow morning, same time, same place. All right. Thanks. So everyone have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.